We died 1,070 times, which... Why didn't we get all of the skills? Why is there a few skills that we haven't gotten yet? Interesting. But maybe we're supposed to get them in different places. But anyway, guys, so we just finished Ori and the Blind Forest. This game has been a roller coaster of emotions for me. Like it's not about just happy and sad moments. It's also about frustrations, relief. It's about blaming my controller, blaming myself, blaming the game, blaming everything else. So to be fair, like I am definitely going to take that in consideration. And I do feel like the controller issues that I've had during this playthrough has been substantial, but I don't know if it is actually the game itself or if it's my controller that's the issue. So my thought is that I'm actually going to purchase a new controller, and then when we play Ori and the Will of the Wisp, we are going to be able to evaluate that game a little bit more fair and with a little bit like less external factors that could have affected this game. But despite that, I feel like this game, like I said, it's been a roller coaster of emotion. It's been happy, it's been sad, it's been frustrations, it has been relief, it has been these kind of situations where you just look at it, it's like, oh, that is so cute. The artwork in this game is absolutely fantastic. The story is quite easy to follow, which is actually quite good for me, because I am a kind of person that if it is too much story and if the story is too elaborate, I start to lose focus on the game, for the reason that if I need to focus on the elaborate story and remember every name and whatnot, yada yada yada, then for me, and despite that, and we take in consideration that I actually don't play games or the same game every day, which means that there are sometimes situations where you forget what happened. But in this game, I think the story was quite easy to follow. It wasn't too heavy. It was quite interesting to see, you know, all of these different abilities that you can grab. It gave you a progression, which means that this is one thing that for me personally frustrates me a little bit, but it also, I understand why they did this, and I understand the reasoning behind it. So I'm not gonna give any negative critique or like say that the game is bad because of it. But in this game, it is, you do things and then you come to a point where you cannot, in this particular part of the game, you cannot progress right now because you don't have the correct skills. And there could be items behind it. It could be like smaller things. It could be actually be able to follow or go through to the next part. So in that sense, it is quite linear, that you need to do everything in the correct order. What frustrates me is that when I'm in a part, because I'm the kind of person who likes to 100% games as much as possible. You can see here, Mount Horror is 94%. Those 6% drives me nuts, and I would have wanted to be able to get through them instantly. But I do know that there's some of these. Why do Blackroot Burrows have 1%? Am I not done with the game? I don't know. But anyway, so like not being able to progressing as much as I want to, and as soon as I can in these games, kind of makes me a little bit frustrated. Kind of makes me a little bit like I see that I can get there, but I can't right now, and I have to revisit that place. I think it's great mechanics. I think it's very good. Like I get and I understand, and I think this gives the game a little bit more of a, it gives it more replayability possibilities. So I think that's actually good, even though I don't personally like it. The artwork is just stunning, and like if you look at all of the visual effect with smoke and fire and this kind of blue misty thing. Like all of it are really on point. It is very beautifully made. The music, I think I've said it a few times while I play through this. It just gives you so much emotion, and it motivates you in the places where it needs to motivate you, and it makes you sad, and it gives you the emotions that you need when you're playing, or you should have when you're playing this. Of course, it's not everyone that thinks about those things as much as I do, but I actually gonna give this game probably like a 6 out of 10. I think I was reviewing a Thief Simulator the other day, and I also gave it a 6 out of 10, but I think it's good. This one actually might be more of a 7 out of 10. Actually, I'm gonna put it as a 7 out of 10 because it made me feel so many things at the same time. It has great replayability because of the mechanics that you get later in the game that you can use to, even if it's just items, but it does make you able to progress and get things later. I managed to play through this on hard difficulty level despite being the first real platformer in ages that I played through, which I feel like is fantastic. And even though that it took me quite some time, I am very proud and very happy that it took such a long time to do this and that I managed to do it. So it wasn't impossible to do it on hard, which some games have that. Like you put it on hard and it's almost impossible to get through it the first time because there's so many, you have to like resource management and whatnot. You don't have to do that. And the way that I built Ori in this place was half health and half defense, so to speak. I did one on the gathering thing. But that's just because I went for, like, I like to play quite aggressively. But in this game, because there's so many visual clutter, at some parts, I kind of felt like I wanted to do a little bit defense and a little bit attack, just so that I can adjust for me playing too aggressive and having all of this visual clutter on the screen that doesn't make you able to see all of the things that you need to see, for example. So I think those are the things that makes it go down to a 7 instead of 8 or 9. Visual clutter. Sometimes it's very difficult to see how you should progress. It's not many times, but it does happen. So yeah, and then it was a few. I liked all of the abilities they get, but there was a few that were quite frustrating for me. But I did like it. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Ori and the Blind Forest. I do recommend playing it. And I'm so frustrated that Blackroot Burrows is 1% and I don't get why. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you later.